The Formula One community is buzzing with excitement after Red Bull's surprising move to let Christian Horner go. Rumours of internal changes had been circulating, but now the spotlight is on a sensational possibility: Max Verstappen joining Mercedes. What once seemed far-fetched is now closer to reality due to recent events. Could Toto Wolff have played his cards perfectly, patiently waiting for the right moment? If Max does make the switch, Mercedes will have to decide who steps aside for him. Will it be George Russell or the talented young Kimi Antonelli? While Christian Horner's exit has shocked many, the focus is now shifting to what's next for Red Bull, and the outlook seems uncertain for their fans. Just before Horner's departure, the CEO of Mercedes authorized an all-out effort to woo Verstappen. Previously, there were whispers of an understanding between Wolff and Verstappen, though the Mercedes board was hesitant to part with their rising star, Russell, or the gifted Antonelli. Now, the motorsport world waits eagerly to see how these developments unfold. Honestly, having Verstappen join your team is a rare opportunity, especially as he's at the height of his career, which is probably a big factor in Kalanius's decision to welcome him on board. Beyond the drama with Horner, there are plenty of reasons for Max to think about leaving Red Bull. For one thing, the team seems to be losing its edge. The recent exits of key figures like Newey, Wheatley, Courtney and Rob Marshall are clear signs of that. Just look at how quickly Marshall and Wheatley have impacted McLaren and Sauber. That shows how vital they once were to Red Bull's triumphs in recent seasons. When a team's decisions aren't aligned with your goals, it's smart to explore better opportunities elsewhere. That's what Lewis Hamilton did when Mercedes disregarded his input on their car's design. Realizing he was right as the team stalled, he boldly moved to Ferrari. Hamilton, a 7-time world champion, believes Max should consider transitioning to Mercedes to embrace new challenges. He even remarked that without Max, Red Bull wouldn't be competing at the front. At most, they're destined to be a middle-of-the-pack team, with no signs of making advances anytime soon. Walsh and Balbo, leading the tech team, have repeatedly struggled to bring improvements that boost Verstappen's confidence in the car. This is another reason why he should consider joining a team that excels in car development. Remember how Mercedes launched their ground effect era? Initially lagging behind every major team, they managed to turn things around within a few years. With 2026 looking promising based on recent engine advancements, it's likely to fuel their ambition even more. Max's management team acknowledged that they expected Horner's departure from Red Bull, but it didn't concern them too much because they're focusing on performance metrics now. Interestingly, they didn't specify that this performance pursuit is exclusive to Red Bull, hinting that if they were to have discussions with Wolff and Allison at Mercedes and find them making the right moves, it could lead to another major reshuffle on the grid. Addressing the situation, Verstappen's team said, "Red Bull's management informed us ahead of time about this decision. It's Red Bull's responsibility to explain their reasoning behind this move. Meanwhile, we're committed to enhancing our performance to reclaim our leading position. Our focus remains unchanged." However, the main talking point centers around Horner's recent exit. The truth will eventually unfold, but we're left with two possibilities. Either Red Bull has reached a breaking point and realizes they must heed Max's input, or they understand that Max is on his way out and plan to revamp the team thoroughly. If the former is true, keeping Max around would significantly boost the team's morale, offering hope for a turnaround. Yet, the void left by Horner is substantial. He's been integral to the team since its inception, long before Kimi Antonelli came into the picture. After 2 decades, it's clear that he'll significantly influence many senior members at Red Bull who might consider joining another team if a chance presents itself. To put it plainly, a major shakeup is likely on the horizon. If that happens, Max should definitely keep Mercedes on his radar. The Silver Arrows face their own tough choices because, for the first time in ages, they have 2 top-tier drivers capable of clinching world titles if given the chance. With 3 contenders vying for 2 spots, someone has to go. Considering Antonelli's potential, it might end up being Russell. However, this decision could stir controversy since Mercedes has nurtured George from his early days and placed him in the spotlight when Hamilton departed. Removing him could send negative ripples through their entire driver development program. But remember, we're discussing Verstappen here. The real question is whether Mercedes' engine prowess is significant enough to convince Verstappen that this should be his next venture. Horner highlights the difficulty of predicting the 2026 Formula One season, calling it a significant unknown for everyone involved. Although Mercedes and Ferrari are the leading engine manufacturers on paper, having a powerful engine isn't the sole reason a car finishes 20 seconds ahead of others. He cautions Verstappen about potentially joining their top rivals, emphasizing that 2026 introduces the most significant regulations change in 50 years, impacting both the chassis and power unit. The future hierarchy of teams remains unclear, with contenders like McLaren, Aston Martin, Ferrari or Mercedes all in the running. With so much uncertainty for 2026, it will only become clearer next year who might come out on top. This uncertainty spells a challenging time for Red Bull as they face a potential rebuilding phase that could damage crucial relationships. One sign of this transition is the hiring of Laurent Mekies, formerly Racing Bull's team principal. Should they suspect Max Verstappen's move to Mercedes, Red Bull might promote Hedger to partner with Yuki or even take a daring risk by replacing Tsunoda with Lindblad. Regardless of the outcome, it looked as though Max was on his way to Mercedes, leaving Red Bull to face a tough time ahead without their leader, Horner. However, just like after the rain comes sunshine, this major setback for the team might bring about unexpected changes that catch everyone off guard. It's important to consider that all this upheaval could be part of a strategy to strengthen Red Bull's internal dynamics. Jos Verstappen's comments still linger in our minds, suggesting that with Christian in charge, things won't stay the same. However, if Horner departs, there's a chance Max could commit to Red Bull and help rebuild the team from the ground up. What we've witnessed is how influential the driver is within the team. While the exits of Wheatley, Newey and Courtney didn't shake Horner's leadership, the possibility of losing Verstappen certainly has. So what are your thoughts on Verstappen's potential switch to Mercedes? And more intriguingly, do you think Russell will be the one to lose his seat over drama he's not directly involved in? Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, subscribe to the channel and leave a comment below. See you in the next video.